What's up, my friends? How you doing? I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but it's windy and crazy here. A tree smacked me in the face. It smacked me right in the face today. Can't say I like that. Can't say I enjoy that nonsense. Anyways, first things first. I'm going to share the live stream link in the Discord. All right. All right, and I just noticed that the thumbnail is for my other channel. Oh, well, whatever, who cares? It makes no real difference overall. That's fine. It'll do. It'll do. All right, let's do our hellos. What up, Gossett, Jess, Rays, Kentucky, Doomblade, Shelton, Eng, Axiom, Millmaster, Yamagoro, Joe, who else? Ned, David, Zircon, Stormtrooper. What's going on? How you guys doing this evening? What up, Felonious T? How's life treating you, buddy? I got my Kool-Aid. Man, it's mega windy here today. Like, mega windy. Like, get smacked in the face by a tree. Mega windy. It didn't really hurt. You know, it just, like, came out of nowhere. It's like, what the hell was that? Took me a second to realize it was the branch of a tree. Whack. So, little bit of excitement. Because, honestly, not that much going on today. I mean, in the Magic world, you had the whole weighting system on Arena, all that was interesting, but overall, meh, not that much going on. Millmaster, it's a holiday where you are, and your hot water heater went out. Well, put some water in a Ziploc bag and stick it between your legs, buddy. Warm up your water the old-fashioned way. Ziploc leg locks. David, is there a place in my Discord you can post your arena name to try and add people for games? I think that I don't know. I guess just in the general area if you want to. I don't have an area for arena. Once upon a time, somebody asked me, "Hey, can you make an area for arena?" And like nobody really used it. So I just said, "Well, what the hell's the point of having this?" So you can post your name in the general. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in playing Arena, but I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, right? It doesn't hurt to ask, because you never know who's playing and who's not. I still mess with Arena pretty much every day, at least a little bit. What up, Bob? The Modern Horizons 3 flip cards don't sound great. Do I think Wizards would replace them? It's a good question. That's a good question. On one hand, I think that they would replace them, and on the other hand, I think they would just go, meh, they're fine. You can use them as is. So I'm guessing it's probably just going to be left to the customer service agent to determine individually, because I think that's pretty much how it works anyways. I think the people working customer service have some leeway to decide whether they want to send you like a replacement or just tell you that that's the standard issue stuff. I don't 100% know for sure, but that's my gut feeling. I think that they get to decide. And there's not consistency in terms of some will require that you send back the product, some won't. And from my experience working in call centers, you have like a range of levels of intelligence, right? So you'll have people who are smarter and dumber. And the dumber ones are usually the worst ones to get. But yeah, depending on who you deal with and also the mood that they're in. Like, I know that I would be more helpful to people who are nice or if I was in a good mood. And if I wasn't in a good mood, I was less likely to help. That's just part of it. So it's a random roll of the dice in some ways, right? Jess, you got a point. Millmaster is cursed. Flooding, his mailbox got destroyed, water heater's out. He's cursed. He's cursed. Millmaster, you're threatening to pour boiling water on your wife in the bed. You're not gonna be married for long, bro. You're not gonna be married for long at this rate. What up, Super Duper? How you doing? Yeah, Magoro, I'm glad you enjoyed the news update today, buddy. It was a bunch of different items that I had collected up over a bit of time, and it was, I mean, with the arena waiting stuff added in, it was like, okay, we got enough here for a reasonable video. Axiom, you didn't hear what happened with the Modern Horizon 3 flip cards? Wizards has printed some of them with both sides being the same. So instead of like, oh, here's your creature on one side, here's your land on the other side. I don't know which side they printed both sides, but yeah. You can get double-sided cards that are single-sided cards. Because they always got to find new ways to screw up. And on products they want you to pay a higher price on. Because honestly, Wizards of the Coast is a pretty big joke right now. I guess it's just more argument to hop on Arena and play without paying them anything. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see because they didn't offer images. They just put out a statement saying, well, we screwed up. Surprise, surprise. I mean, considering that they're on a non-stop crush to keep making stuff all day, every day, and never slow up the pace. Like, the only reason we have a break at all is because they got too greedy, pushed it too far, and the Aftermath sets ended up being a failure, so they had to take the big score and just go, oh, I guess we'll shove this into Thunder Junction. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Super Duper. Premium trading card. Premium trading card game. When you play other games, you can actually see the big difference. Like, for real, for real. Going from messing with those Grand Archive cards to mucking about with Magic cards and they're sandy, gritty. Like, they come out of the pack looking like they've been banged around. Like, you put them in a cardboard box and shook them around. All the edges are banged up. That's what actually made me decide I wasn't going to go for a foil set when I was collecting the Brothers' War. I started cracking packs to collect a set. And then the foils that I was getting, you could see a white edge all the way around it that made them look like they were beat up and they were packed fresh. And I just went, well, no. I ain't dealing with this. I ain't dealing with this at all. Jugglem, how you doing, buddy? What's the point of quality control if you aren't going to act on it? I don't know if they have really any quality control at all. Because it seems like everything gets out. Why would they worry about quality control when they put out a double-sided commander deck by accident that got individually sold for $100,000? They're basically just going, well, hey, look, we double win. We don't have to worry about improving card quality. And there's another market for this stuff to be sold in. They celebrated it. They celebrated their poor quality by making that Emil Unicorn card. That's literally a celebration. Oh, you're so lucky. You got a $100,000 deck because we screwed up and double printed it so bad. Aren't you lucky? And it's like, aren't you a terrible company? For real. For real. You opened a pack of Avis and Restored the other day and you thought they were counterfeit because the quality was too good? Yeah, for real. I believe it. I believe it. They don't care, man. They don't care. Millmaster, if it wasn't their own QC department who found out about the print error, I don't know. I presume that they probably somebody like opened it on Whatnot or something. Because there's already been a bunch of pack openings and stuff as people have gotten their hands on the product and are already selling it online. So for all I know, that's what happened. Somebody saw it somewhere there. I have no clue. But clearly they didn't find out until the stuff's already in the boosters and ready to go, right? Like, it's insane. It's insane how bad things have gotten. Where they have a bunch of AI stolen, not AI, what am I saying? They have a bunch of stolen artwork where you've got artists straight up stealing other people's artwork. They do have AI issues here or there as well. They've got insanely bad card quality, and yet they're just like, this is the best and you should pay these crazy prices because it's totally worth it. As we power creep the sets, and we're basically just trying to get commander action going on out of this too. Like, everything has to be commander. Why would they care? They don't have to worry about anything. We don't even have to worry about the rules of the game anymore because it's out of our hand, guys. We don't even decide what's banned in Commander. There's a handful of people that are in charge of that, and well, it's just up to them, and it's up to all of you guys. You got to decide at your table. We're not in charge of formats or balance or anything anymore. It's really obnoxious. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? That's the current state of Wizards. They want all the money for Hasbro. They don't care how bad it is, bro. Having a weight on each card is 100% necessary for bringing Commander to Arena. No, it's not. No, you don't seem to understand. They can just put Commander on Arena. What are you going to do about it? They don't weight the cards? Shut up. People will play it. That's it. Like, they haven't balanced anything yet. What makes you think they're going to balance Commander, bro? It's just going to be the same crap where they're just going to have random outdated numbers slapped on everything, and it's just going to be Band-Aids and staples and chewing gum holding it all together. So, like, will they even be able to program it in a way where they can get Commander to work is the real question. Everyday who's not surprised by the arena matchmaking numbers? I don't know. I don't know. Doomblade says, it's funny Zenith Flare is raised so high because you can tell right when Wizards stopped caring about rating arena cards. I remember Zenith Flare being a real hassle to deal with and that stuff being like powerful. But it's just wild to me that that's got a rating of over 200 and then powerful cards have a rating of like, here, that's a 9. It's like, based on what? Based on what? Yeah, I feel you, Super. There's like, there's, it's all just gut feel and nonsense based on whatever the person felt like typing in at the time. That's how it comes across. How would you balance the format that got almost every card in it that would be tough and cost money? Well, you would at least try. You would at least do some bannings and pay attention to what people are doing, but they're happy to let the Commander Committee go, oh, it's up to you guys. And then the Commander Committee goes, it's not up to us. You guys got to decide at every individual table. It's so annoying. Oh, Loco, why not just make it true random matchmaking? I don't know, actually. I don't know. Maybe because they don't want people to win too much, so they're hoping by giving a certain level of matchmaking that they can keep your win rate down so that you'll be more likely to spend money buying things to try and improve your deck. Maybe? Maybe? Yep, exactly. When it comes to balancing commander decks and having a previous discussion at the beginning of it with like deck power levels, everyone has different definitions of like people. My deck's a 2. What? Yeah, it's not a very strong deck. And then they just put out 2 cards and go, I win. And it's like, you said your deck was a 2. It's not a strong deck. It's like you have a 2-card win combo in there. That's not strong, though. My deck is just weak. So what if I put out 2 cards and insta-win the game? That's not strong. It's like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No, your deck's a 9 and my deck's a 2. It's like, uh-huh. Sure it is. Having people decide the rules for their games at the beginning of games is stupid. That's why people play games with rules. Like, you buy a board game and it just goes, you figure it out. Make up the rules. You decide what's okay. It's like, okay then. All right. So, what? What? What up, Rain? How you doing? Millmaster, I agree. Curated, defined formats are important, but Wizards doesn't agree, so it doesn't matter what we think, does it? Does it? They've just decided that everything is Commander. They're going to put Commander into everything. So whatever we think about that apparently doesn't matter. Apparently it doesn't matter. So yeah, man, the state of Magic is a travesty right now. Like, having a balanced environment is fun, but they don't even bother with that for the beginner experience. The beginner decks weren't balanced against each other. There's definitely, like, all over the board power levels. 100%. 100%. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jess, you played an infinite combo deck at a store and then they banned infinite combos? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, Super, I feel you. Drafts, like, limited formats are fun. Playing with the cube is a good time, but I don't know. Unfortunately for me, I'm not a Commander guy because I don't enjoy multiplayer Magic, right? I don't like 4-player Magic. I think it's stupid. Playing a game where the goal is to win, but you're supposed to act like the goal isn't to win. It's like a race where instead of everybody just running straight down the course as fast as they can, they're just kind of like meandering and slapping each other's dicks and going off to climb trees. And then they yell at you, "You're just running down the track. What's wrong with you?" And it's like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to try and win. No, you're supposed to, like, get a shovel and dig a hole and then tunnel over here and then get up and ride a waterfall down to the win spot. No, I thought I'd just run down the track. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's not fair. Like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. What up, Speedwagon? I don't know what the hell Wacky Races is. Never heard of it. Or if I've heard about it, I completely forgot it already. What up, Meek? What's going on, DJ Longhair? So yeah, man, every time I try and sit down and play Commander, it doesn't lead to a good time for me. So I've just accepted that 4-player ain't ever going to be for me, man. I just want to play one-on-one games. That's it. That's it. Kensuke, shut up. Dan is terrible, bro. Dan is awful. Just dreadful. Just dreadful. Wacky races where you can only attack and block with vehicles and you attack the finish line rather than your opponent. The first to get to 10 lap points wins. Ugh. This is where Magic is going, is it? This is what Magic is going to be? Is this what's going to replace Commander? Wacky races? Yeah, whatever. If you're having fun with it, cool. I don't like vehicles in Magic to begin with. Vehicles were the start of just shoving modern crap into Magic. Check it out, we got tanks and submarines and helicopters and cars. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. Hey, do you want to watch this sci-fi show? But instead of spaceships, it's just dudes with swords and they run in space. Wait, how do they run in space? They just do. They're just running. What? But the cold void of space will freeze them and their eyeballs will pop off and they can't breathe. Nope, they can just run through space because of magic and they got swords. Okay, so where's the science? This, shut up, it is science fiction. Shut your dumb mouth. It's barbarians with swords and they run in space and they chop. Oh, you wanted space battles with spaceships and lasers and stuff? There isn't any of that. There isn't any of that. It's just dudes running with swords and shields and stuff. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Super, I'm fine with airships. I'm fine with boats and whatever. But the problem is when they introduced vehicles, it was on Kaladesh, a modern world with fleet wheel cruiser, which looks like some golden laced vehicle that some sheik would own. And it literally drives in grooves on the ground. Like it needs grooves already carved out for it. And you're supposed to summon this up on another world when we're battling. I summon up a car, and the magic of summoning it also paves the earth and makes ruts in the ground that it can drive through directly at you. Beep, 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 beep. I turn on the air conditioning in my car, and I put on R. Kelly. I tap a creature to change the radio station to R. Kelly. Oh, it's got automatic windows. I'm gonna pay 1 mana to roll the windows down. That means he can use his tap, yell at you, "Get off the road" ability. Just, whatever, man. Whatever. And Kaladesh now is compared to what's happened to Magic. Kaladesh is, I remember how much I hated it, but I had no idea what was coming. No idea what was coming. Jugglim, I have no idea what commanders Bloomborough is going to have, but it's going to obviously have a ton. It's going to have a ton of legendaries because every set has to have a ton of legendaries, and it will have a bunch of errors in it. But I'm hoping at least it'll feel the way a Magic set should feel, because it's been a while. It's been a while since I got the high fantasy feeling. Instead of "Welcome to Jurassic Park, here are the Transformers. More than meets my sadness." Oh, what a universe, man. So yeah, Magic has just completely sacrificed its identity, and I guess it doesn't matter because it's all just Commander casual whatevs now. So I don't know, man. I don't know. They're making a lot of bad choices, but at the end of the day, if they're making their money, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, right? Juggling, you were looking at new Transformer Beyblade sets? I don't know anything about Beyblade. That seems like absolute garbage. We're going to battle with spinning tops. Oh, okay. You don't understand, though. They turn into little robots like the Indian in the cupboard, and you can make them give you robo hand jobs. You gotta, like, the thing is, we each gotta take the Beyblades, and we gotta spin them in our dick holes, and then we gotta, like, fling our dicks at each other without touching. They can't touch, right? If we touch tips, that's a do-over. But you gotta pull it in, put it in your dick hole, pull the ripcord, and then slap swing the Beyblades at each other. Millmaster, yeah, that's right. The casuals don't need stories. They don't know what planeswalkers are or what the stack is. So there you go. All you guys who are interested in the game and have paid attention to it and know the rules and the stories, you're idiot losers. And we just want people who come in and like, I can't wait for Rosewater to just say, most Magic players don't know how to read. So we stopped worrying about what it said on cards and just do crayon squiggles. It's like, okay. All right, then. Yeah, man. I don't know. My gut says that this is all just going to end in failure and the collapse of Magic. But who knows? Maybe they can just keep it going off the back of casuals for however long, and it'll just continue on just fine, and people will just have fun with it, and Wizards will keep making their money, and the game it'll never be what it was, but it'll just keep going. Like, there's there's the possibility that this is just how it's going to go forever, because there will be no, hey, you got to fix and go back to the old. They'll just be like, no, we're going to come up with other schemes. Like, there was a while where I was sure that, yeah, this will all fall apart and they'll have to retrace their steps and go back to what works. But I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. Now I just wonder, like, at what point have I had enough and just go, yeah, I don't think I need to do this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, not angrily either. Like that's not what I'm wondering. I'm not wondering when are they going to make me so mad, because I've been so mad. But I can feel myself caring less. Like, the opposite of love isn't hate. It's not, right? Hate is a very strong emotion too. And you think that those are two sides of the same coin, but they're not. The opposite of love is absolute indifference, where you just go, oh, I don't care that exists. It doesn't bother me. I have no opinion, because whatever, people enjoying it or not enjoying it, I don't care. You know? The same way I don't care about people doing bird watching. It's like, cool, there's something you like to do that I have no interest in, but it has no bearing on my life. I won't think about it for a second. I don't even have an opinion. Knock yourself out, right? Birds are pretty cool, though, so maybe bird watching wasn't the best choice, because I do have an opinion on it, but just trying to pick something random. Doomblade Super Chat says, the reason why Beyblade was so popular was because of the show and how the Tops actually did things that the Tops did in the show in real life. What do you mean? What the hell does that mean? The Tops did things. What did they do? What did they do? What, do they turn into dinosaurs and shit like Transformers or whatever? Beyblades bouncing here and there and everywhere. Speedwagon, if Thunder Junction couldn't have guns because it's a kid game, who said that it couldn't have guns because it's a kid's game? Who said that? Wizards has been avoiding guns for a long time because it doesn't fit into the fantasy flavor. But I don't know if you notice something. They don't care anymore. They don't care about coherence. They don't care about things tying together. So that's why. And you can't have Warhammer without key Warhammer things, because the guys in charge of the IP are like, okay, here's the stuff that you have to, who's gonna buy Warhammer if you don't put that in there? If you're looking for consistency with them, there is none. It's blatant naked corporatism, where it's just like, how do we get your money? Who cares about our game? We'll dress it up like whatever whore you want. What is it? What do you like? Do you like this? Okay, we'll dress it up like this. You like fucking pineapples? Great. We'll slap a dress on a pine. This is a pineapple. Bang it. Here, give us money. That's it. That's it. So that's the deal. That's the deal. Tommy, the store you're going to was going to have Commander instead of Draft because a Commander player said they'd leave if they had to pay to play. I feel like that's a pretty easy way to run your business into the ground. If there are people who are willing to pay to play in events, although if there's not enough people to play in a draft, what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? That's the reality at the game store I go to. Drafts don't happen anymore because there's not enough people who are willing to pay for drafts. And that you know what? Why would you? Why would you pay for a draft when you can just go down and play with the cards you already have? That's a lot. There's a lot of people apparently who don't want to pay to play in events at the store. So I don't know, man. Obviously, this is just gonna speed up. LGS is shutting down, right? It does seem weird to me to listen to people who aren't your paying customers. But if somebody is saying, I don't want to pay to play in an event, but they buy stuff off you regularly, then it would make sense to listen to them, right? So I don't know. But it doesn't seem like good business to not be selling products but you also can't force people to buy stuff. So, every store is going to make their own choices, right? Spin steel and different modes and how they interact by design, small stuff like that. Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, exactly, Super. No guns, not fantasy. Hey, did we ever get the art for the... Where are the arts for the tech drones and stuff? Yes, whatever. Also, we're not going to have guns, but we're going to make thunder blasters that literally look like two guns glued together. But they don't count as guns, though, because we said they don't. It's like... I don't know why anybody is expecting anything coherent from Wizards anymore. I'm not. Like, Thunder Junction was the clearest signal on Earth they could give that nothing matters at all anymore. Like, they lie to us and go, we're dedicated to the story. But the reason they told us that is because they thought they were going to get us to sell us. Their idea of being dedicated to the story was making aftermath sets, where we buy extremely expensive sets that have very few cards in them. And the justification is, well, this is just for the story, not for drafting or other things. And that's why it doesn't have commons in it. So we can sell you half the amount of cards, but you pay full price for story reasons. And it's like, okay, so looking through all the cards of the big score, what story does that tell? And they're just like, shut up, idiot. It tells the story of Loot and how cool he is. Look at all the stuff that's in the vault. And then they write the story and go, there was nothing in the vault but loot, and the vault flew into space. This is the story you wrote to go with it? Yeah, we're rededicated to the story. The story of fucking you as hard as we can and not giving you nothing in return. Kanzaki Magic's just a rule set now? Yeah, you're right. You're right. The only thing that they care about any coherence with now is Universes Beyond. That's the reality. That's the reality. And that's because the IP owners care about that. If the IP owners would let Wizards do whatever they want, Wizards would cram out lazy crap from the IPs too. But they're like, we don't have to show any respect to our actual audience, but we have to try and lure other people in to not care about them too, right? Like, check out how well we did on this thing that you love. Now buy a stupid Pow Pow cowboy set where it's inexplicably missing the things you would expect from a set like that. But everyone's got a hat on. Isn't that cool? Super, you've sponsored drafts at your LGS before? All right, well, that's a nice thing to do. That's not something that happens in most places. It says playing Commanders is fun as clipping my toenails. Clipping my toenails is more fun. It's more fun than playing Commander. Miko, War of the Spark pre-release was the most fun you've had playing at a store. Like, I recognize that I'm an ultra dinosaur when it comes to Magic. I started this game 30 years ago, and I remember playing in standard events for years and years, and like, just all of it. I remember the whole process and all the things that we would do. You'd play the standard event, and afterwards, usually a draft would fire, and you just play Magic like all weekend. And now you go down, and it's people playing Commander and Lorcana. And there's nobody there for Standard. Because Standard doesn't mean anything anymore. Standard's nothing. Because Wizards is just like, you competitive players are garbage, and you don't mean anything to us. It's all casual. Everybody plays Commander. And then they're like, wait, why are you buying Standard boxes? Oh, we'll just make the format 3 years now. Based on what? Based on we got boxes to sell. And that's it. And that's it. And there's no going back, right? So Standard is just a format that's 50% bigger than it was, with absolute insane power creep and no end in sight, because it's all Commander, bro. It's all Commander. John, what difference would it make for some Magic designers to leave Magic and create a Magic offshoot? Almost every card game that gets made is aping Magic the Gathering and stealing their mechanics. So what will be special about Magic designers that make hack bullshit now? They make overpowered, unbalanced garbage and put no effort into it. And so you want these lazy hacks to go and make another game? Doesn't even make sense to me, bro. Why bother? Why bother? Why take people who don't know about balancing, don't care about power concerns, and make fucking crap, cards that don't even work as written, and then go, these guys need to make another game to compete with Magic? That doesn't make any sense to me. They're not going to drop the prices. If Wizards would make more money by selling the stuff cheaper, that's what they would do. Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Selling more product and making less money is not what Wizards wants to do. If they can sell half as much product and make more money, that's what they'll do. They're never going to go back. Like, Magic's never going to get more fucking affordable. Ever. That's not on the menu. The menu is pay more. The menu is pay more for less. That's clearly their agenda. 100%. 100%. And that's all it's ever going to be. It doesn't go in the other direction, sadly. Super duper, you wouldn't want that. If they split Magic the Gathering and went Magic Commander, guess what? You'd get nothing for Magic the Gathering anymore. You'd get nothing. Just a handful of crap. Like, in this imaginary world of yours where they lavish attention onto something that they don't think is worth the money because the majority of their players play something else, they cram Commander into everything. So if you got your wish and they separated it, they would have one child they fed everything to, Magic Commander, and one child that never got any food, Magic the Gathering, because the profit margins aren't there. They wouldn't be making the money they want to make. So that's it. That's it. Like, the stand, like, everybody would leave the regular Magic the Gathering for Commander because that's what would be getting all the attention. That's what that's what's happening now. That's what's happening now. Everybody's given up. Everybody's given up on regular Magic. Your options are, you go to the game store, you want to play Standard. Oh, everyone's playing Commander. I didn't bring a Commander deck. I guess I'm going to go home. Right? You come the next week. We play in Standard? No, everyone's playing Commander. How many times does that happen before you realize that you only have two options? Either you're done with Magic or you're getting into Commander. If you want to go and play Magic with people in person at the store that you know, it's like if there was like a little sports field and you always went to play fucking soccer there. And hey, we always play soccer, but now everybody only plays football. Not soccer football, but football. Your options, you're not going to get to play soccer no matter what you do. So, do you want to play football or do you want to play nothing? That's it. That's it. Wizards has shown no inclination towards putting enough support behind Standard to really rebuild it. So, like, I'm not bothering with Standard anymore because there's nobody to play it with. There's nobody to play it with. So I got my cube. I'll play my cube or whatever, but if I want to go down Friday night and play Magic with other people, it's Commander. That's it. Unless I contact my buddy and say, do you want to play cube tonight? Like, for real. So there might be little pockets of people playing Standard here or there at some stores that can actually get Standard events to fire, but those are few and far between. And they're diminishing more as time goes by. Nirvana, what are you talking about? We should be happy they're adapting EDH at all. What are you talking about adapting? Bro, all they did was fucking change the name of the format to Commander so that they could fucking legally trademark that shit. And then they're like, what are you talking about adapting it? They don't have anything to do with the fucking rules. They don't have anything to do with the fucking rules committee. They don't have anything to do with deciding what gets banned. They're not fucking changing anything. We should be happy about what? What are they doing? All they're doing is printing shitloads of cards for Commander and power creeping the entirety of Magic. What is there to be grateful for exactly? What am I missing? Because what you're saying makes no sense to me, bro. Like none. Like none. John, Magic the proxy. More people are going with proxies. I mean, I got my cube now. My cube is proxy friendly as hell. Why wouldn't it be? If I'm not playing in standard events, what the hell do I need real Magic cards for? I'd still like to have them, but what do I need them for? The answer is I don't. The answer is I don't. Nirvana, what are you talking about? The alternative being no Commander cards. Have you been around for all of Magic's history? Commander has always fed off of everything that exists. So as long as they're making any Magic products, Commander is auto-included. Commander gets to take from everything. And it has the entire time. It was built as a fan format that evolved on its own. So again, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, bro. It doesn't make any sense. But if you feel like they've adapted stuff and it's great, then cool. Whatever, man. I don't even give a shit. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. You just sound insane to me. That's all. That's all. Because literally every fucking product Commander players would go and pick stuff from. We used to have an environment where they would balance standard and go, here you go. Here's a standard format that's relatively balanced. And then modern would feed off of that. Every format would feed off of that. But then they went, it's not good enough. Every format has to have a rotation because we deserve to sell into every format and make tons of money off of every set. So we're making Fire where every set has to have cards for everything. And it was like standard has to have cards for standard and modern and fucking vintage too. Why not? And also Commander. Why not? And just all this crap. And so standard obviously can't support that. It's impossible. It's impossible. But whatever, right? So standard's been obliterated. And it only exists really in any form now on Arena. And then Wizards came out and were like, why aren't you guys buying enough boxes? You know? Why aren't you buying enough boxes? And it's like, because there's no incentive to buy these boxes. No, but you need to still buy them. Like, we don't want to support your format. Like, we don't want to balance standard and, like, give you anything reasonable like that. We don't want to give you standard decks that you can just pick up like used to. But we demand that you buy the products. Our balance sheet requires it. Why are you doing what you're supposed to? Like, it's insane. Nerdvana, you came in at the wrong time to get the context you needed. Hey, fair enough, man. It's all good. It's all good. You just confused me, honestly. But yeah, once upon a time, standard was what they cared about. That's where you entered the game. And they just decided kitchen table Magic and Commander is like the main thing. And therefore, we don't need to worry about balancing. It's like you realize that this stuff that you're talking about grew up as a result of what you had before and the way it was run, right? And they're like, we don't want to hear none of that. We don't want to hear any of that. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know when it just becomes, I'm the old crank, and who cares what I have to say? Why am I even talking about this anymore? Right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Commander used to get fed from other stuff, and now it's like, it's the main thing. They used to do one set of Commander decks a year. Here you go. Special Commander decks. Tons of rares in them. Loaded down. Have fun with them. Here's some crazy stuff designed for Commander. But, like, Standard isn't... Like, they come out with Thunder Junction. Go, here's the new Standard set. It's got 50 legendary creatures. 50! Like, what? What? Yeah, well, it's Commander, right? It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Yeah, super duper. For Commander, you got to find 4 people, invest 2 and 3 hours, and it's exhausting. I get that. Speedwagon Super Chat says, I love Commander, and I'll still probably always play it, but I'd be lying if I said I don't feel fatigued from all the legendary creatures. Now I've migrated primarily over to Pioneer and Pauper. Commander players are getting, like, stuffed like a goose whose liver they plan to explode. Right? Like, like that's the vibe. Where the Commander, it's just like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And Wizards has, like, they've decided Commander's the thing, which means they have to get Commander players to keep buying more stuff. And how do you do that? You keep power creeping. You keep making new things that they have to get to put in their 100, right? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. Like, obviously, they're cackling to themselves going, ha ha, we don't have to balance the format or worry about anything because it's casual and we've got the rules committee. What up, Kenny? How you doing? So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I know things change over the course of life. They do in a lot of different ways. And I find that I can't muster the same level of anger that I used to over what they're doing. And I think it's terrible for the game, but I don't care as much as I used to. For real. Like, a part of me is sad because I think that my love for Magic is slowly but surely being beat to death at on the roadside. You know what I mean? Like, I still find cards that I enjoy. And I've been playing Magic like every day on Arena. I got my cube and everything. But I don't know. For most of my life, I've been like obsessed with the game. And I just like, more and more, I'm just like, you know, like this. Right? Like, instead of like this, I'm just like, what you gonna do? Right? Like, it's just, it's happening. Speedwagon Super Chat says, to further your point, Modern Horizons 3 is getting Commander decks instead of Modern decks to welcome new players to Modern. Yeah, yeah. And you know what, buddy? When they were asked about that, Rosewater blamed us. He blamed us. The reason you don't get Modern decks with Modern Horizons is because you guys won't pay enough money for them. That's what he said. He said they can't make the decks at a price point people will accept. And then they trot out Commander decks at these obscene prices. And what they're really saying is, well, yeah, I mean, sure, we could print 60 card decks and it would only cost us about $3 or $4 to make them. But there's no way we're giving you a good deal. So you'd have to pay the secondary market value of all these singles. And because you're not willing to pay like $20 a card, you're not willing to pay $1,000 for a Modern deck. So it's your fault. It's your fault. So we had to put Commander decks in there. And you're just like, this is horseshit. Like, I used to have respect for Mark Rosewater as somebody who genuinely loved Magic. I thought that he really cared. And now he's clearly just a corporate mouthpiece who's there to justify whatever insane decisions Wizards is making because he has an awesome job. And if he doesn't, he'll lose it. So while I'm sure there's certain aspects he still loves about Magic and talking to people, he's just like a sellout whore now. And like, it really, really got hammered home when he was talking about the new play boosters and he was talking about your expected rare to dollar to rare ratios. And it's like, I never in a million years thought I would see you talking about this finance level crap. But yeah, he's justifying going, you're paying like roughly the same dollar value per rare, so it's okay. And it's like, bro, you have drank all the Kool-Aid, like all of it. All of it. Hicks, that's the point. That's the point of Modern Horizons. It's working as intended. Like, it destroyed your decks. That's the point. Wizards went, oh, you guys created Modern and other formats because you don't like running in the hamster wheel. Like, they had Standard where they had their forced obsolescence, right? And then they was like, we could get you to keep buying stuff that way. But then they turn to Modern and they go, it's not fair that you don't have to keep buying new product. That's not fair. We don't like that. That's not fair. So we're just going to make products that go straight into Modern and are so strong that you have to get them. It's like, it's ultra power creep gasoline, bro. 100%. 100%. Ned, yeah, exactly. They won't do those modern decks because they can't give away that much reprint equity. And that's exactly how they think. That's exactly how they think. Eric, yeah, it's our fault. How dare we not spend thousands a month on cardboard? It's absurd. It's absurd. Wizards of the Coast has gotten so arrogant because of their position. Like, there are board games that will give you everything. A board, hundreds of cards, little pieces, all of it for like 35 bucks. For 35 bucks. And Wizards is like, 35 bucks, I'll give you a third of a Shieldred, dickhead. Like, it's insane. Their justification is, we think we can bilk you, so that's what we're going to do. We don't owe you anything. We don't owe you decent card quality. We don't owe you balanced gameplay. In fact, we're going to intentionally unbalance things to fuck up the money you've already spent on our game. We're going to devalue the property that you've already purchased from us intentionally and relentlessly. Every single set that goes into Modern is there to rotate Modern. That's the deal. What up, Pierce? Doomblade, people ask Wizards that, but they're not going to fucking bother answering that. Why would any company answer a question? What happens when people don't want to buy your stuff anymore? Who fucking cares? I guess we go to business. There's no point. It's like saying to somebody, what happens when you die? Oh, for me, nothing, because I'm dead. Right? Pierce, you think it's partly Hasbro influence? Of course it is. Of fucking course it is. Hasbro is dying. So they're forcing Magic to bilk us for everything they can. It has such high margins. It's amazing. It costs us almost nothing to make, and we can just rob these people. Of course. Of course. What up, Thompson? How you doing, buddy? So yeah, man, it's like, I don't know. You go and play other card games and you realize how much more they deserve your time and attention and money, but it doesn't matter because there's nobody else playing them. It doesn't matter how good a fucking game is if nobody's playing it. If nobody comes to your store and plays it, you have nobody to play with. So you can love a game and get it, and it doesn't matter, right? Magic just has king of the hill position, where it's like, we're already here and people are playing us and we're in the game stores. But more and more, it's becoming an untenable position for game stores to even carry this shit. Oh yeah, you got to spend 50 grand bringing in Modern Horizons products. Like, what? Yeah, your cost will be 50,000. And it's like, what? How am I supposed to afford this? I didn't sell all the other crap you guys got me to buy, right? Cthulhu, people playing an online version of a card game doesn't help the physical card game, really. Most people aren't going to transfer over. They're just going to continue to play for free, and that doesn't help you at the game store, does it? It's just, okay, people are playing a computer game at home. All right. You know? Nerdvana, is there a middle ground that Magic could explore? I mean, there's lots of different things they could do, but they won't. They won't because they want maximum dollars. So power creep, overprint power creep, and overcharge. That's how they're doing it. That's how they're doing it. Because they've looked at the game and said, oh, it's all casuals who don't know anything about the game, therefore this is what we're going to do. And in the short term, it's making them a bunch of bank, and all they care about is the short term. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the cow dies tomorrow if I get my milk today. That's it. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. Loco, you got a case of each set of Grand Archive to start a singles inventory of the entire game? It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work doing all the single stocking and stuff. Like, for real, I got into Magic a million years ago, but getting into card games now, it's just like you got to fiddle with all the cards. You got to deal with all that compared to video games where the stuff is all stored on there for you. Like the writing's on the wall for card games. They're just going to diminish and die. And that might actually be what Wizards is doing with this whole Commander Casual stuff, is they might have internal documents that say, we only got 5 or 10 years or whatever it is. Like the generations coming up don't care about this. They're growing up with tablets and phones and whatever, and they're not going to pay us a bunch of money for fiddly cardboard. So we got to get what we can while we can. Pull the copper out of the walls, do whatever, tear up the floorboards to burn for heat. Like, we just got to do it all. Jacob says, whatever the future Magic may be, at least I know I can count on the Hatcher Entertainment Network for grade A content. Well, you're welcome, buddy. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Now, I need to get some more beverage. So while I have some Kool-Aid getification, enjoy Don't Be a Dink. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. Use my Amazon link. This is gonna take some work. Don't be a dink. Use my Amazon link. When Hatcher goes for a drink, bookmark that Amazon link. Don't be a bitch. You gotta scratch that itch. Bookmark that Amazon link. I got fucking bills to pay, y'all. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Cthulhu, it's Commander more and Commander. That's basically, you've seen some plays of Modern, but that's it. You missed standard tournaments with prize support. It was fun. Yeah, standard tournaments were fun. But I guess they are like a relic of the past, and now it's just Commander nights. I don't know, man. Like I was saying before, I find myself caring less in some ways, so I don't know if that will just progress to the point where the stuff stops bothering me and I just enjoy myself, or if it's going to progress to the point where Magic becomes less and less of a presence in my life and I find other things to enjoy. Obviously, that would mean that my content would be shifting as well, you know? So, we'll see. We'll see how things play out. I feel a bit melancholy about it, you know? It's just kind of like, this is the way things go in life. Things change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. On one hand, I can play all the Magic I want on Arena for free. On the other hand, it doesn't give me the same experience. Like, I have so many memories that, like, are tied into Magic the Gathering in different eras of my life, and just looking at the cards makes me think about that. Like, the original Zendikar block really makes me think about the time that I lived in Toronto and all of it. So, I don't know, man. I get that I'm a Magic graybeard and things are different now. Nah, Frag, I don't agree with that, buddy. I don't agree with that. There'd be no logical reason for them to stop printing Magic cards. It costs them like a quarter to print a Magic booster. For real. It costs them about 25 cents to make the entirety of a Magic booster. They make crazy money selling paper. So it's not logical to think that everyone would switch over to Arena and they would make the same profits at all, at all. Paper Magic makes them way more money than Arena. So it doesn't make any sense to think that they would be like, yeah, we're going to get everyone on Arena because that's where we're going to get our... That was never their plan. That was never their plan. Millmaster, you think there's something attractive about tactile games? I'm sure there will be physical games that kids play in the future. They won't be card games like Magic, though. They won't. It's just... Sitting around playing a card game specifically isn't anything special. And if you enjoy a tactile experience, guess what? Something like Mousetrap, million times more satisfying. And those games have cards too, right? You got your little paper bills, you got your money, you got your Mousetrap. Turn the crank, drop the trap, your buddy jumps into the bathtub. Like, for tactile stuff, just holding Magic cards ain't it, bro. Ain't it. Unfortunately. I don't see anything that's going to get kids hyped about something like Magic the Gathering at all. Thompson, you started in December 2022 with Modern, and then but all your buddies play Commander, so you started building Commander decks. Well, there you go. There you go. Loco, you started doing Lorcana singles. They sell like you thought Magic was supposed to sell. Yeah, I mean, it seems like selling Magic singles is pretty rough now, considering Wizards is basically declared, we get all the secondary market value. Screw you. If we could, we would sell all the singles directly. Nerdvana, no. Arena does not have the ability to take the cards out of it and turn them into real cards. Wizards doesn't want that at all. They want to give you digital cards that you don't own, can never get out, but they still want you to spend real money on it. It's terrible. It's terrible. Loco, I'm not surprised that you're getting a shitload of orders for Lorcana. I've watched Lorcana, and it seems to genuinely be flourishing. The people who are playing it seem to be happy, and Lorcana doesn't have Commander. So guess what's going on with Lorcana? One-on-one card game tournaments. People are just playing against each other. Championships, all that stuff. All of it. Super playing cards aren't going to go away altogether, especially not like regular decks of cards for poker and all that kind of stuff. But Magic the Gathering, while it's big in the card game world, it's not big in the world. It's an incredibly niche product that to get most people to understand, you have to go, hey, you know Pokemon cards? It's like that. That's the reality. The fastest way to make somebody understand what Magic is to reference Pokemon cards. That's not a good sign. So yeah, people will still be playing cards long after nobody's playing Magic. Magic is not going to have some fucking renaissance with people. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just going to wither. That's how it's going to go. There's a bunch of people who insist Magic is bigger than it's ever been. I have no idea why they insist that, because I don't see any evidence of that at all. But whatever. They're having a good time with it. So enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. If you don't lower your Magic prices every day, after a few days, your sales drop to freaking zero. A lot of people competing to sell their stuff, right? What up, Hot Dice? Hungry Hippos. Yeah, Ned, play Hungry Hippos. Yeah, Frag, I mean, obviously you need to be a Disney fan to enjoy Lorcana to its fullest. There's no dispute in that. But yeah, I have no idea what the ultimate underlying goal of Wizards of the Coast is, like, for a 5-10 year plan for Magic. It just seems like it's all really short-sighted. Grab what you can. And don't worry about building anything. Nothing needs to be built. The game is all just played by casual people, so who cares, right? How long till Lorcana starts dropping in the Kingdom Hearts crew? Who knows, but that'd be awesome, man. Kingdom Hearts was dope. And, like, Magic has made itself so goofy and stupid that Lorcana's not really a bridge too far anymore, is it? What's the difference? Thunder Junction is absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Where they didn't even bother to make, like, the thinnest of excuses as to why this was happening. They just went, it's happening. Get excited about it. It's so stupid. Kenny, there's like 10 people in the state you live in, Malaysia, and there's only like 10 people playing Magic, and it's 2.5 hours to the nearest LGS. Yeah, yes, you are correct. It is definitely niche. Still waiting for G.I. Jace. Why wouldn't it come? Hasbro owns G.I. Joe, right? They're gonna shove it in at some point. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. What up, Break Stop? How's it going, buddy? So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm envious of people who are just enjoying Magic for what it is. In a way, it's probably nicer to be somebody who just got into the game recently, because this is what the game is going to be for the foreseeable future. For those of us who remember the standard events, like remember Friday Night Magics and going down to the game store every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, playing cards with all your friends and a bunch of people you didn't like too. All that. But yeah, man, I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things where it's an experience you can never have again. The old Magic is gone. It's just gone. Because the people in charge have decided that it's not profitable enough to worry about building sustainable formats where they can just constantly make crazy product after crazy product, not worry about balancing anything, and just try and get as many properties from outside involved as possible. And then, because they have to pay more for the licensing fees for these products outside of the normal Magic sphere, they have to put less effort into the products inside the Magic sphere. Less world building, less story building, all of it. All of it. Sergeant Slaughter is awesome. Sergeant Slaughter is hilarious in G.I. Joe. And yeah, one day he'll be on a Magic card, and they'll have his vehicle too that you can crew with him. Hope says, I'm in the UK. Our WPN Premium LGS did a store championship standard event. Only one person turned up. They didn't get to play, but were crowned store champ by default. Oh, yep. It's the way Wizards brutalized standard. They're not doing anything to reestablish it properly, and they won't, because they've decided it's not worth the time or the money. Not where they can just go for easy cash grabs. It is what it is. Yeah, Nerdvana. Well, there still is an in-store experience. The in-store experience has just changed, right? It's just changed into 4-player Commander casual, and I suppose it's theoretically possible that 10 years from now I could be entirely wrong. And it's like, well, more people play than ever because the casual 4-player whatever style, but I don't know. Will it still be at LGS's? Like, I don't know exactly where the line of I am conflating my personal desires with what reality wants. Do you know what I mean? Like, Zard, all the LGSs shut down around you, so you just get together to toss some back with your friends and play Commander. It's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. What up, Code and Monkey? How you doing? How you doing? See, I don't know, man. I guess sometimes maybe I wish that I didn't care about Magic at all anymore. I don't even know. I don't even know how I feel. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted over a fucking card game, man. Maybe I just need to spend less time with it overall, focus more on other things. I don't know. I don't got the answers. Breakstop, you're fortunate that you have FNM booster drafts at your LGS. Oh, nice. You went 3-0 and came in second? Right on, buddy. Coding Monkey, yep, that's a problem as well. The game stores are increasing draft prices, and they have to because Wizards has increased the prices on them, right? So when you're getting charged more by your distributor because the distributor got charged more by Wizards, like, LGSs aren't fucking charities, right? So they have to make money to keep the fucking doors open and the lights on and everything. But there's a bunch of people who think they should just be able to play for free and all this other stuff, and it's just, I imagine it's got to be very frustrating to be an LGS owner in this day and age. Gianna, you got your cards at a Circle K until Mirrodin? See, I don't know, man. Like, I found my LGS when I was like 15 years old. And it was hidden in a back alley. There was no sign or anything. You had to know somebody who knew to take you there or whatever. But it was full of the most wondrous stuff. Dungeons and Dragons books, Magic the Gathering cards, just awesome fantasy stuff. And it was like my second home. And I met a lot of cool people and some real weirdos in those places and had a lot of amazing experiences. But like, everything's different now, right? The world is wildly different than it was 30 years ago. And that's the way the world works. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I never thought that Magic would, like when we played it back then, we didn't think Magic would be around for decades. So in a way, I should be happy that I got to enjoy it the way I did for as long as I did. I guess I'm just trying to find happiness again with Magic in a more full way. Like, I'm still having fun playing it, obviously. But a lot of the other stuff that went along with that is gone. Frag, you don't think it's just me because you've had a fair number of friends give up on Magic because they've gotten too worn out with it? Your dad used to love it, but it got too complex. Most of the people that I know that played Magic are gone. They don't play anymore. Like, there's still some of the old guard around, a handful of them that I see at the LGSs, but like, you go down there and there's only 4 people who've shown up for Standard now, and it's just like, all right, you know, and some of the old guard have moved on to things like Lorcana. I watched one of the guys who was a diehard Magic player who would show up with like a bag with 60 Magic decks in it. Guess what he was doing? Opening Lorcana boxes. He was sitting there opening. He had just bought 4 boxes. He was opening 2 boxes there and making his list of all the cards that he got and everything. And then he had 2 boxes to take home so his woman could have the fun of opening that stuff too. I've lost something along the way that I don't think I'll ever get back. And I still haven't become okay with it. Speedwagon, back in the day you had a 5-color Titan cycle deck that revolved around Pride. Was that really back in the day? Primeval Titan? I guess I'm so old. But like back in the day for me is older than that. Break stop, you buy so many singles from your LGS, they let you go behind the counter and start looking through the binders you need. Nice. Nice. You know, I guess part of it too is like the game store that I go to is now owned by somebody else, and he's revitalized it for real. But things have changed. The guy who ran the LGS for most of my life, he's gone now. He doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, I miss what it was. I miss what it was. Nirvana, I've seen the vending machines you can get cards out of, but I only ever saw them with like Pokemon stuff. Speedwagon, you started in Scars Block? So, yeah, bro, I started in 1994. I started playing Magic 30 years ago. Back when I was in high school. And we played so much. This was pre-internet era when the world was much slower. Much slower. And I'm not complaining about the internet because obviously it's given me new opportunities. The fact that I can spend my time making videos, like I'm working on the Thran lore that I'm hoping tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll get the next installment of the Thran lore completed and out. We'll see how it goes, because hope and reality don't always mesh up. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess part of the problem is I don't know what I need. I don't know what I need to be happy in this regard. Still, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, buddy. The machine was inside of the hockey rink near your elementary school. Yeah, I guess I'm older than a lot of current Magic players too, right? I'm a dinosaur, man. I couldn't afford to play Magic. Like, I couldn't afford to pay my way into the tournaments. So the store owner would let me sweep the floors. I didn't realize until years later, those floors didn't need to be swept. They were fine. He just had me sweep the floors so that I could earn my way into the tournaments, right? And I played there for a long, long time. I played so much Magic. So many games. So many different people. Gianna roller skating before rollerblades. Yeah, I remember when rollerblades came out. That's true. Hope you opened an unlimited booster, got a tropical island, traded it for 20 swamps. When we started with the dual lands, we didn't know they were rare and desirable. So we just looked at them like, okay, Bayou's a swamp and a forest. So I'll give you a swamp and a forest. I'll give you these two lands for that. And that's how you want a tundra? That's a plains and an island. That's how we did it. That's how we did it. Jess, you love sweeping compared to vacuuming? Maybe because there's a force to sweeping. It's definitely a different vibe. So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know where this all ends up, where this goes. Like, at a certain point, are you just hanging on to a faded memory and that's what's making you unhappy with it? Like, Magic has changed a bunch, but is it actually me that's the problem? You know? That's what you start to wonder. I mean, it feels like it's not because the card quality is bad, the power creep is insane, they don't seem to care about the health of the game. But if that's what the majority of people are happy with, then what's the point of me getting all worked up about it, right? I remember whenever it was, like years ago, when I got really angry and was like quitting Magic, but I didn't want to quit Magic. Like, I was quitting to, I'll show Wizards and all this kind of shit. But ultimately I still wanted to play the game and enjoy it. And like, I don't have that anger in me now. I just, like, I look at what they're doing and I shake my head and I laugh at them and I think it's stupid, but that anger that I felt is gone. It's gone. Break stop, it means I'm not totally self-centered. Fair enough. I mean, I know it's not just about me, dude. Jess, you like mowing the lawn? I hated mowing the lawn. I hated it. I remember once I thought I would get out of mowing the lawn by running over the extension cord with the lawnmower. And so I ran over the extension cord with the lawnmower. And then I went and told my dad, I ran over the extension cord with the lawnmower. Oh no. And he's just like shook his head. And then he went downstairs and he got tape. And he taped the fucking cord back up and put me right back to mowing the lawn. And I was like, well, fuck. That didn't get me out of it at all. Clayton, I don't think you can call it breaking, honestly. I don't feel broken. I feel like I'm moving more towards indifference overall about the future of Magic the Gathering and just leaning more towards I'm going to enjoy myself with what I enjoy and not care about the game like the game's longevity. So if they want to drive it into a hole, hey, I had my fun. I've got a cube. I can play forever. There's other stuff to do, right? Like, that's it. I'm in no way a broken man. It's just like, it just becomes more, right? Break stop. You hate all chores. Wish you could have serfs to do them for you like in the olden days. Hell yeah. Thal, apathetic. You know what? Apathy? Yep, there's some of that bleeding in. Logo, it's called Moving On. Meh. Nihilism? No. Nihilism is when you say nothing matters. And I think things do matter. People matter. Life matters, right? So, no, it's definitely not that. Eric, at this point, it's apathy for you regarding all the franchises you've grown up with that end up degraded. It is what it is, right? On the upside, they can't take away the experiences that you've had. They can't take away the enjoyment that you've had. None of it. None of it. Juggle 'em, you think it's a dry spot? The last few sets haven't been that cool, but more will come. You know what? You could be right. You could be right. I mean, the Markov Manor into Thunder Junction has been really weak. The Thunder Junction story was so dismal that it made me go, yeah, I don't really want to cover new lore anymore because it sucks. So there is that. But I'm also still working on the Thran lore. I'm enjoying that. So I definitely haven't reached the point where I'm like dipping out or anything. But I don't know, man. I don't get as angry or as unhappy as I used to, which in a way, it's a benefit for me, right? I don't got to deal with that level of negative emotion surrounding the game. But Magic's been a big thing to me for a long time, so I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe 5 years from now, I won't be the fucking Magic historian. Maybe I'll just be Hatcher doing other stuff. And people are like, remember when he used to do Magic all the time? And when he was yelling about it and all this shit? That could totally happen. Gianna, they changed the water in the pool. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Yeah. Frag, silver lining for you is that you stopped watching Fantasy Geographic because you had no interest in the newer lore. Can't blame you for that. Most of it's been awful. When I went back to the older stuff, got pretty excited. Well, that's cool, man. Get excited about the next installment of the Thran. It's dope. I do like old school Magic lore. And who knows, if Bloomborough actually comes out with a decent story, then I'd be willing to cover new lore again, but I'm only going to cover stories that I actually enjoy myself, and I'd rather do non-Magic lore than cover Magic lore that I don't like, because it's too aggravating. It's too aggravating to read stories that you think are terrible and then try and tell them to other people without straight up just insulting the nonsense writing. So yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see how things go. I guess I'm mildly disappointed at this point. I'm hoping that Bloomborough is going to revitalize some of my excitement. I did have fun talking about a bunch of the Modern Horizons 3 spoilers. So I know that my love for Magic isn't gone, right? Eric, I'm with you. I'm with you on the prayers for Bloomborough to be good. My expectations are tempered by Wizards' recent level of delivery, which has been poor, but here's hoping that Bloomborough is going to come out the gates kicking. I built up a ton of resources on Arena that I plan to go ham with, and, obviously the physical cards as well would be enjoyable. But we won't know that for another month, I would say, right? We're not going to get any Bloomborough spoilers for like a month. I guess what I miss most is just being like excited and happy about what's going on with Magic. You know? Just excited to talk to my friends about the new cards that are coming along and when we're going to play again, instead of talking about the failures that seem to be continual. First name, Bloom or Bust. Hell yeah, bro. Jugglem, you fell asleep when they put the Hatsune Secret Lair on sale and you missed out on it. That's rough, bro. Maybe you'll be able to pick up the singles if you wait a bit, you know? Spellgasm with Kenny Super Chat says, I don't get to join the streams that often anymore with work taking up most of my time, but always enjoy the banner. Better days ahead one way or the other. Just as easy to keep making those sweet proxies. You're not wrong, bro. I have embraced proxy life 100%. Like, I remember when I was adamant I didn't want any proxies. And now, if I can't get my hands on the real deal, a proxy will play just the same. And I've had a ton of fun playing with my friends with proxies. So I'm not one of those, don't own real Magic cards. It's totally awesome owning real Magic cards. But proxies are also totally awesome. Thanks for the super chat, Kenny. You're the new lord of the board. Sometimes I think the conversation I have with my buddy, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, where he's talking about some random Pokemon YouTuber. And he's like, he's getting so excited about this stuff. And it's like, he's like how you used to be with Magic. And hearing it, sucked because when he said it, I couldn't refute it. And I'm like, that's right. I don't sound excited and happy anymore, do I? You know, like most of the time I don't. So, Green Monkey, have I ever played custom community made Magic sets? No, I have not. I definitely have not. Once upon a time, I would be completely against that, but now it doesn't seem like much effort is being put into making real Magic, so fan fiction level stuff is pretty much as relevant, I guess. You know, like whatever, really. I feel like I used to be a Magic purist, but since Wizards decided that Magic wasn't that special, and they've convinced me, it's like, all right, you guys have done a good job of devaluing your property in my eyes to a degree. Can't say I like it, but here we are. They did it to a bunch of people with Magic 30, right? That was a real slap in the face. A real eye-opener as to exactly, like, up until that point, it was kind of like, okay, you guys are pushing it. Magic 30 is like, oh, yeah, just spit right in our faces. Okay. And print it to poor quality standards. Wow, the balls on you guys to be confident that you were going to be able to sell 250 US booster packs that you'd have to buy 4 of in one go. And you didn't even bother to make sure they were printed to a good standard of quality. It's crazy. It's crazy. Green Monkey, you know what? I get what you're saying. Like, I do know a lot about Magic, but I don't have any interest in making my own Magic cards. I've never really been into, like, any of that. I guess the closest thing I come at all to, like, fan fiction, even slightly, is some people view my interpretation of Magic cards when I talk about the flavor behind the card, tying in with the mechanics, as fan fiction, and that's the closest I get. But that's really me just trying to understand what they're doing, not make up my own stuff. I have very little interest in doing that myself. It's not something that I have, like, feel drawn to. Pierce, you think you get a lot more excitement talking about and showing people your cards from like 30 years ago and they seem more excited? Well, lean into it. Have a good time. Gianna, what did my friend say when he saw his face on the proxies? Oh, he loved them. He loved them. I gave him some copies of his own, and he's like, I can't wait to show my friends at work these. So they went all the custom made proxy cards that feature different people that I know. They all went over really, really well. Like everybody loved them. Some did a great job on those. Millmaster, you totally stole my idea about a haunted underwater library and used it in a D&D Wizards Tower. Nice. That's awesome. Pierce, you wish you could be just as excited with the newer cards? Well, if they're not making stuff that excites you, what are you going to do, right? Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Loco, make an uncard that changes the game into a commander game in the middle of a 1-versus-1 match? That's funny. That's a funny idea. So yeah, who knows what the future holds? Who knows, man? Who knows? Obviously, I am at an interesting crossroads with Magic. So, meh. It's honestly, in one way, nicer to feel this way than to be really riled up about it and feel really angry, you know? Like, there was a time where the idea of Magic falling apart or whatever else was so troubling that I couldn't properly handle it. But I'm not that... I guess they've helped me modify my emotional investment to a degree. But yeah, I'd love for Bloomborough to be exciting. I'd love to, like, collect up a set of that. Do it on Arena. Do it, like, in physical. All of it. All of it. Because there's no disputing that I'm still having fun playing with my cube. There's no disputing that I've been having fun playing Magic on Arena. So the gameplay of Magic is still delivering. It's still delivering the goods. Still delivering them goods. All right, my friends. Well, that's where we're going to leave it for now. Thanks for coming and chatting with me today. We will get together again soon. But for now, I descend into the waters because I just died.